This is the brand new Bolt wireless gaming mouse from FNATIC. It's competing in a category that has a whole lot of competition. It's going to be interesting to see what FNATIC brings to the table to try and convince gamers to go with the Bolt over some of the popular options that are already out there. Inside the box, we got the mouse sitting right on top there. Looks pretty cool. We got the USB receiver for the 2.4 GHz wireless connection, and they also included a USB extender that's useful if you want to get the receiver as close to the mouse as possible. This is a very nice quality Paracord USB-C cable, one of the best I've seen in a while. It's very flexible and really low drag. And they also threw in an extra set of PTFE mouse feet. You're going to be able to get the Bolt in either black or white color, and depending on which model you choose, the weight actually varies a little bit. The black one weighs in at 67 grams, and the white one comes in just a touch heavier at 69 grams. FNATIC tells me the extra weight on the white models due to an anti-UV formula that's added right into the ABS plastic to help prevent shine and discoloration over time. So we're looking at gaming mice here that are weighing under 70 grams, and that's clearly in that ultra lightweight class, especially for wireless. There's no holes anywhere on the Bolt, no honeycombs. It's a completely seamless outer shell, and I like that. It's more comfortable than those other holey kind of designs. They did a good job with the build quality. It feels strong and solid all the way around, no bending, flexibility, or weird creaking sounds or anything like that. Overall, it's a medium-sized gaming mouse, and I want to call the shape generic. There's no big grooves or flare-outs, it's more plain and simple, and that means two things. Number one, it's not as comfortable as curvy ergonomic mice, but at the same time, it makes it super versatile and it works with most grip styles. It's really good for fingertip and claw grips in particular. Up front, we have a USB port for charging or for playing in wired mode, and thank you FNATIC for using USB-C instead of the horrible micro USB format. We got our primary left and right buttons right there, and again, very subtle shape, no deep curves or grooves or anything like that. And the scroll wheel up here's got a really nice rubber texture to it, very grippy, not gonna slip on it or anything. And it has a fair amount of resistance actually, so I don't think you're gonna be accidentally spinning it while you're gaming. The little button on top's for cycling through profiles, and we have our side or thumb buttons over here on the left. I like the solid feeling on these. The click registers right at the top of the stroke, and it doesn't feel like there's a ton of post-travel afterwards, so it makes a really nice solid feeling button. M1 and M2 are using high-performance Kailh GM 8.0 mechanical switches, and they're rated for up to 80 million click cycles. They're a really crisp and quick feeling switch. Let's do a quick sound test. I did notice one small issue on here, and it's with the right mouse button. It seems to be kind of loose compared to the left side, which is perfectly fine and nice and tight and solid feeling. And that little bit of looseness results in a tiny little bit of pre-travel on that side. So the good news is though, FNATIC is apparently aware that some of these review samples that went out, which are pre-production by the way, they had a few issues with pre-travel and stuff like that. And they say they've already addressed all that with the retail copies that are gonna be mass produced. So hopefully if you're interested in picking up a Bolt, by the time you get your hands on one of these, all that should be resolved. Underneath, we've got 100% pure PTFE skates at the front and the back, and they're really good. They feel really smooth on a cloth mouse pad, very low friction. Down here, we also have our toggle power switch with settings for Bluetooth and 2.4 GHz wireless modes. FNATIC says we should get about 110 hours battery life with the 2.4 GHz wireless and around 210 if you go over to the Bluetooth mode. But keep in mind, over on the Bluetooth side, you're gonna have some increased latency over there. That's just how Bluetooth works. So that's the trade-off if you wanna go for that like really high battery life. They're using a brand new Pixart PMW3370 sensor on here with pretty impressive specs and a tunable liftoff distance. I ended up spending quite a bit of time with my Bolt playing Apex Legends, and I think that's a perfect game to test out a mouse like this because it seems to be geared more towards FPS style gameplay. As far as the tracking performance goes, it's perfect. I don't have a single issue to report. It kept up with the fastest movements I could make throughout the game all the time. There wasn't any input lag or any reliability issues with the 2.4 GHz wireless connection. It's just good and it works, and that's exactly what I expect from a mouse designed by an esports focused company. I'm naturally a fingertip or hybrid claw gripper, so the Bolt was a seamless transition for me from my usual main. You can tell right away when you use it, it's designed to work with that kind of grip. It's a really good size and shape for it. The placement and the size of the side buttons is good too. I didn't have any issues finding those when I needed to during fast-paced gameplay, and after more than a week of really heavy testing with it so far, I'm definitely impressed with the performance. The only place on here you'll find any RGB is on the scroll wheel, and you know what? It's not even all that advanced. It's one of the more simpler implementations compared to some of the competition that's out there, but I think that's intentional. They were really going after raw performance with this mouse compared to like aesthetics and glowy stuff. There's a software app called FNATIC OP that you can use to customize the settings on the mouse, but the update that supports the Bolt is currently in beta, and I had some issues with it actually, where it would detect the mouse sometimes but not others. It was really kind of hit or miss every time I tried to use it. Again, I want to mention it's beta software, so I mean it's expected that there's going to be issues. I'm just hoping that they refine it over time, iron out those issues, and start to add a lot more features and support for the Bolt. The good news is you can actually use button combinations right on the mouse to change and customize some of the settings. If you take a look in the user's manual, there's a few different settings and customization options that it'll show you in there. So you can kind of avoid the software altogether if you want to do that. And the mouse also has 4 onboard memory profiles. So you can get it set up and tuned the way you want it, save everything right to the mouse itself, and then that's it. Unplug it, take it with you wherever you want to go, and those settings are just going to follow you. Overall, I like the Bolt. I think it's a solid mouse that does live up to FNATIC's esports name. The raw performance is noticeable with flawless tracking, lag-free wireless, and fast, crispy feeling buttons. As long as that little wiggly button issue's fixed and we get some better software support down the line, I think the Bolt's gonna be a solid choice for gamers, and that's gonna be true if you're a beginner all the way up to the highest level esports players. And they priced it fairly at $79 US, so I think you're getting a good amount of performance and features for that price point. I'm gonna have the purchasing links, specs, details, all that stuff down in the description for you. Leave us a comment, tell everybody what you think of the Bolt, and get subscribed so you don't miss any upcoming content. And we'll see ya.